everyone, and welcome back to the Wow Embossing YouTube channel. It is Erica with you today for a bonus video this month. Today's video is a collaboration between Catherine Pula and Wow Embossing, and I decided to actually case one of my cards that I made for the Forever 13 release, which was, I believe, in, I want to say February. It could have been March. Time kind of blurs into to one at the moment. So what I did with the first card was that I used the Beautiful Sentiment stamp set. I do believe it's called Beautiful Sentiment. Let me just double check that. Yes, Beautiful Sentiment. And I stamped out this smile in a rainbow array of colors. And I've used Limoncello, Orange Peel, Rocking Red, Grape Crush, Suede Shoes, Aquatini, and Lime Ricky. But for this other card, I wanted to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it with a glitter instead. So I picked out Sorbet, Tangerine Dream, Rocking Red, Tickle, Something Borrowed, and this next one I'm not sure how to pronounce, Curacao, and Lime Ricky. All of these, except for the Tangerine Dream, are all inspired by Catherine Pula. So that is a bit of a dream team, I'd say. I did also use the new changers for the first time, which is super fun, because my first idea was to do these stamps with first the ink, and then I was going to use the glitter powder on top of that. But as things tend to happen in my craft room, I have an idea, I start out, and then I change my mind, or something comes up in the midst of making things. I mean, it is full-on crafting drama. It is a roller coaster in my craft room. So what I decided to do was, instead of using all these single colors, I took a little bit of clear embossing powder, mixed it with the Glisten embossing changer. So the clear embossing powder will now add glitter to the stamp without having to use all the single colors. But don't worry, I will do that as well on another card, because again, I can't just do one card, can I? So here we're going to speed up the process, and sadly the camera did not focus, so this is all a little bit blurry. But the card that I ended up making, I kind of misjudged where the stamps were going. So what I ended up having to do is cut out on the Grape Crush smile. So the purple smile, I had to skip it because it just would have overlapped a little bit too much. Now I have stamped these up, then I've cleared off the stamp, gone back in with the embossing pad, added the change powder, and added glitter to it like that. Then I decided that even though I missed out on the purple smile, that was not such a big deal, because it would help my sentiment pop a little bit better. Because with the glitter, I wouldn't be able to actually stamp over and get a good imprint on with my sentiment. So on the first card it worked because there was no embossing powder apart from on this actual bit. So I stamped it up with black ink first, and then I have added the Glisten powder to that as well. And this, let me tell you, this was a bit of a surprise. I heated it and I thought it was going to be kind of see-through black shimmer. But when you look closely to it, or at it, it actually has a bit of a violet hue to it. It looks very sparkly and fun. I do like the original card better with the black, because it pops so much better. So if I do this card again, I will probably not use the shimmer on top of that. Now we're moving on to card number 2. My first attempt at doing this did not work out very well. I was going to, with the embossing pad, stamp and use each one of the glitter powders, but as you can see, it just did not have enough color in it. So I decided I'm going to do the ink first, then clean off the stamp, go in with the embossing pad, stamp again, and then add the embossing powder, embossing glitter on top. And for some reason it has gone into slow motion here. hopefully we'll be right on track again for that. There we go. The joys of making videos, eh? So we are gonna go along the line of doing all these inks again. But of course this time we're doing an ink color and then the coordinating glitter powder on top. It is a little bit fiddly, but I must tell you that it was not as fiddly as I thought it was going to be, and it came out incredible. I think the trick here, which I learned sort of probably by Rockin Red, is just add a little bit of powder. Only a tiny bit. You don't need a huge amount. And then tip your card so that it just kind of falls over it. That way you don't get powder all over the place. It really did kind of work really well. See, look, straight into the pot and hardly any mess. But if you do what I do and use a piece of paper, make sure that you wipe it off in between each color, because otherwise you're going to get contamination, and ain't nobody got time for that, right? There we go. Oh, and that little stamp scrubber you see me use, that is from Picket Fence Studios, and it is so good. You only need to use water with it, no nasty smelling chemicals or anything like that. I can't use that stuff because it just gives me a headache instantly. So this has been a lifesaver for me. I keep it in a little pot and keep it wet at all times, and it is ready to go. You just have to rinse it every now and again. Thank you, Picket Fence. Right, when we come to the bottom of this, I did misjudge things a little bit on this card as well. Seemed to be the theme of today. And with this one, the one that I cannot pronounce, I did first do it with the embossing. This is embossing powder. And then while it was still hot, I put my glisten changer on top to add a little bit of sparkle. And that made a world of difference. It was, oh yeah, so good. But I think if I were to do this again, I probably would just add the, instead of doing the embossing powder and then the glisten, I would just go straight to the glisten, because the aquatini color was so dark anyway that it didn't really need that extra embossing powder. And because I did this whole misjudging thing, what I did was I went in with my limoncello, which was the yellow color, and I stamped it quite a few times to get a much darker color than the top one, so that it kind of is like a rainbow going all the way around. I hope that makes sense. It kind of makes sense in my head anyway. Once the card is ready, I'm hoping that you will see that it is a slightly different shade to the top one. And yeah, I must admit, it's not very ladylike to toot your own horn and stuff, but I must admit that I really like how this card turned out. There's a lot of white space, there's bright pops of color, there's shimmer and glitter. Yeah, I like it. What I did want to do though was, and this is one of the things I did take note from the first card, was because I didn't like, well, I say I didn't like, I didn't think that it was sharp enough with the sentiment that I'm going to add here. So on this one, I added just clear embossing powder. And you can see that it is much easier to see. And I did actually do that 2 times, so that it's double embossed, just to kind of raise it up a little bit more. And with that, last few pictures of these cards, these glittericious cards, or glittericious cards even. Oh, that was a bit of a mouthful, wasn't it? I am all done, and it is time to hop on. There is a blog hop, of course, and there are prizes up for grabs. So make sure you stop off at the Katrin Poolner blogs and the Wow Embossing blog, and then find the whole lineup in the hop. And I will see you all very soon again. Thanks for stopping by today. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. Bye bye now.